All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Lafayette Township Board of Trustees and Fire District. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Roll call.
Bilal here.
Paroli here. If everybody could please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get into the meeting, there had been some questions circulating, and we did receive some questions after the last meeting. Trustee Demonsky had sent me an email, would like me to read a statement at the opening of the meeting tonight. So this is the email that I received from Trustee Demonsky. It has come to my attention that my absence from the trustee meeting in January has caused some concern to certain residents, so I would like to address those concerns. Going back to the summer of 2025, when I agreed to run for the Board of Trustees, I advised those who were involved in my campaign that I already had a prior commitment, which would force me to miss one meeting in February and one meeting in March. At the time, the meetings were scheduled on Mondays once a month. On January 2nd, 2026, at the organizational meeting, our meeting schedule was changed to meeting on Tuesdays every other week. This change will cause me to miss several more meetings than expected, but since I am already committed financially, the majority of my plans cannot be changed. However, I have been able to change some of my plans. Instead of not being back until the end of March, I will be back on March 2nd, allowing me to attend the March 3rd meeting. In my absence, I have stayed abreast of the issues that the Board of Trustees have been handling, including addressing the staffing issues in the service department as well as trying to hire the new zoning inspector. I have also completed all of the training videos from the Ohio Township Association, as well as completing all of the mandatory training videos put out by the Auditor of State for new township trustees. I hope this letter addresses any concerns. Trustee Stephen Demonsky. All right, so on the consent agenda, we have 3 sets of minutes. Did you get a chance to review those?
I did.
Okay. Well, then I will make a motion to approve meeting minutes from January 2nd, January 6th, and January 13th.
1 second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
The first item that we have is payroll. Did you get a chance to review the payroll? Okay. So first up, we have township payroll for the pay period of January 4th through January 17th. On the township side, I'd make a motion to approve payroll as documented on these, what do we have, 4 pages? 4 pages that'll be included with the minutes in the amount of $5,241.05.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Then on the fire district side, we have 10 pages that'll be submitted as well, but we have payroll period for the same time, January 4th through January 17th.
There's nothing scheduled between
Stop it.
January 4th, 2025 to January 17th, 2025.
Thank you. Sorry about that. We have a total amount for the fire district, $27,836.50. I'll move to approve payroll.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next up, we have the warrants. We'll start with the township side. We have 2 payment listings. One to, does this close out 2025 then yet, or might have still?
Yeah, it
some-
does, because I already submitted the year-end totals to the county.
Okay. So we have, it looks like 6 electronic warrants, and then township totaling $642.79, and then on the township side, included with payroll that we obviously approved at the last meeting, totaling $10,979.29. I would make the motion to approve the warrants for the township.
I'll second.
And those will be submitted as well. And on the fire district side, same thing. Well, actually, looks like 2025 was taken care of already on that one. So we have warrants totaling $41,022.40. Some of that obviously includes the payroll that we had submitted for the last pay period. But we'll go ahead and I'll make a motion to approve those warrants and submit as documentation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The only other 2 things, Sherry, I don't know, do you want to do a quick explanation, or are you good for the tax advance resolutions.
Well, basically, that, you know, you can either take all your advances as they come into the county, or you have to wait till they're all collected, and that doesn't usually happen until April, so some places let that go, but it's just easier to collect them as they come, so that's all they are, one for the township, one for the fire district.
So the first, I have resolution 2026-19, a resolution requesting all available taxes assessed and collected for and on behalf of Lafayette Township and declaring an emergency. And I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2026-19.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Salah, yes.
Corolla, yes. And then we have the identical resolution for the fire district, resolution 2026-12 FD, a resolution requesting all available taxes assessed and collected for and on behalf of Lafayette Township Fire District and declaring an emergency. I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Salah, yes.
Corolla, yes.
If you wouldn't mind passing those down if you sign them, because I
Yep.
gotta get those sent to her tomorrow.
You just need us to sign the actual resolution. Everything on the county forms are yours.
There's one spot I'll have you sign after I finish it, and then, I think you have to sign it as the chair.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is correspondence, County Road Project Lake Road. I believe that was you, Trustee Block?
So the Medina County Engineers Department contacted us with information about a road closure for our county, our township. It says, Dear Board of Trustees, be advised that the planned infrastructure improvements and waterline installation project contracted with Trimore Corporation is scheduled to begin this winter. Lake Road between Clayton Drive and Main Drive will be closed to through traffic for a period of 90 days beginning on Monday, March the 2nd, 2026. Please note that the contractor may mobilise on-site earlier than this date to begin the waterline portion of the project outside of the roadway. Signs will be posted prior to the closure to notify the public of the upcoming closure to the start date. Maintenance of traffic will be managed as follows. Look for local access. There will be access for residents and local traffic on Main Drive, Clayton Drive, Walnut Drive and Overlook Drive will be maintained throughout the entire duration of the project. Detours. All other traffic will be required to follow the official posted detour routes. The contractor is contractually obligated to have all project components completed by the final date, which is June the 26th, 2026. Please contact Angie Sullivan of the Medina County Engineers Office with questions, and we apologise for any inconveniences may cause. Sincerely, Angie.
The only other things, received a couple of correspondence in the last few days with questions about the senior snowplow program. And I'll be completely honest, that's not something that I worked real heavily with the first 2 years that I was in term. So I know it's something that's been there. And I would just ask, based on the conversations or questions that I received, maybe that's something that you can work with Matt Lawton, our new service director,
We
just
had
to
a
make sure.
conversation on it,
Okay.
because we've had short staffed, it wasn't one of those things that we could implement right now, but going forward with the new staff that we'll have in place, we'll be able to put this back into place again.
Okay.
Residents.
Excellent.
How long has it been out of service, or how long since we plowed seniors' driveways?
I don't know, I was gonna say, I know that it was in place in previous winters. I can't say that we've done any of it this winter. Obviously, most of the snow that we've dealt with has also been during the same time period that we've been dealing with staffing issues. So I don't know that I would say that there's been a major interruption, but it probably isn't to the level that any of us want to see it at. So that's why Trustee Bilar will work with our new leadership within the service department and get that back up and running ASAP.
And I don't believe we've had any requests from residents for it directly. Kristen, we haven't had anything on file, have we, sent to us? Did you have any, Sherry? Sent to you. So we haven't had a resident giving us any yet.
And there's been talk on
Yeah, it just
social
hasn't
media.
come directly
And
into
yeah.
us.
But we are working to get that addressed, just so that there isn't any confusion. over that. So look for something coming out very shortly.
Okay, and the letter you just read, are you gonna post it online somewhere?
We can
We
do,
can get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right, so next on the agenda is unresolved business. And I don't know, based on, oh, I'm sorry. Ron?
I have a question. On this Lake Road issue,
Okay.
is it traffic both ways that's gonna be stopped? Or is it just on one side? In other words, they're gonna let traffic, like they did on some of the other roads.
No, I
They'll
think
let
it's
traffic go one
both
way
sides.
and then they'll let it go the other way.
I do believe it will be a full closure detour.
You know where the S bend is? It does that S
No.
bend.
Yeah.
They're taking the S bend out completely, and it's going to be a straight road going through. So
Pretty close to straight.
yeah, as straight as you can, as she says. So that both sides will be closed.
They're gonna keep the S-bend out?
Yes, for safety reasons, they say.
So is that like, person that was gonna do that Chippewa Lake, Museum or whatever? It's no longer gonna be there?
Further down, East Lake Road.
Oh, by
Right-
East Lake?
Right at the end of East Lake.
Yeah.
They're gonna soften that, so obviously there'll be a little bit of, like if you're going out towards a truck stop, there'll be a little bit of a left and then a little bit of a right, but it won't be so severe.
So severe.
Correct. Trying to flatten it some and
Yeah.
The
Straighten it up.
curve?
Yeah.
So I won't go off the side anymore.
you're gonna have to find somewhere else to ramp yeah.
Stay civil.
Alright, so for unresolved business, we have a couple of items that were brought up at the last meeting. I don't know that, obviously the facilities use policy is something that I brought up. I don't know how much you've had an opportunity to look at it with everything else that's been going on. But one of the things that we had talked about for meetings going forward is, when we put business on the agenda, it will stay on the agenda until it comes to some sort of resolution. I know, we had talked about I don't wanna steal your thunder, but we had talked about like the official meeting recorder. I saw that the prosecutor's office finally got back with an answer today, but obviously nobody's had a chance to digest any of that information, but we don't want to take these items off of the agenda and then have them fall into a void. So, I don't know where you're at with either of the items that you have for appointment of official meeting recorder or the employee handbook, but I'm okay if we kind of just put these off till at least
Yep.
the next meeting to discuss.
Mhm.
Okay. So then under new business, the first item that we have is the township newsletter. One, in the past, the past couple of years, we've done the twice a year mailing. Kristen's done an excellent job of putting the newsletter together. She's gotten us some quotes, to do it again this year. I don't know what your thoughts on it are. I've kind of been of the opinion that I'd like to see us continue to do the newsletter. I'm just not sure that we wanna go to the expense of mailing the hard copies like we've done in the past. Especially now with the new website and the fact that we could put together the same information, get it out online. We can make physical copies available, like a small run, so that there's some here at the meeting and some at the town hall for anybody that wants to pick them up, make them available at other events. But I'm kind of, I don't know, what are your thoughts on?
What were the costings for mailing?
Do you have it printed out? Okay. I just don't have it memorized.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
It was right around 4,500 total for print and mail.
Yeah, it just depends. Well, but then there's the offsets of the advertisements. So we already have one for this one. I mean, we could refund it if we need to, but we already have one of the half-page advertisements sold. And I haven't even really, that was somebody that came to me. I haven't,
Haven't
Asked
done the
anyone yet.
outreach like you've done in the past.
yeah, I haven't reached out
So
yet
the
because I was
recent
waiting.
ones then, Kristen, how much money has the township made on the advertising side,
Oh
roughly?
God, I have
Any
that all in
idea?
the office.
That's okay.
About half.
Yeah.
Okay.
About half, I would say, about $2,000 at least.
I think one of the things that's come up with
2,200
some of the
maybe.
residents, there are some residents who like it mailed, who are not mobile as much,
Yeah.
which I think is probably one of the things that makes it very attractive to those residents and who want us to continue that. Is there a way of going through our mailing list to find residents who may be the ones that we could mail it through separately? So,
Or
you
let
know,
them like request, like.
yeah, or request it and then we can mail it
so-
to them.
So I did create a Google form because there was still people after going through like the auditor's site to get a better list basically. Cause it's hard with so many people having different, you know, we have Lodi and we have Medina and we have, you know, from all over for the township. Is there's still people we were missing. So I had made a Google form to say like, if you have not received the newsletter and you would like to receive it, you know, register here. And so that I can get those addresses and give them separately to, the printer so that those people are still getting them. I mean, we could do something like that. Like, as of right now, we're not mailing it unless you request it. But I think there's a lot of people that you're gonna miss that's their only way they're getting information. Like, I mean, it's totally up to you guys. Like when we first did it and we had, the first year where I put the trash voucher program on the front page, we doubled of what people, well, over doubled.
How many
'Cause
people participated in the
Like the people
program?
the year before, it was 80. The next year we had 180. So it really does get information out.
I think that's what's important, I think, is not to lose that
And
connection
people
with
always
the
come in and they're like,
residents.
I love this, and they're like holding it, you know, and because it has all your information on the back, like the back is just good in itself with all the directory and everybody's information, their email and their phone numbers and you guys' pictures on the back and everything.
Okay, so just, based on the quote that we received, it's, based on 2,780 newsletters printed and mailed. It's 97 cents per newsletter.
Yeah.
And that's based on 8-page color.
Yeah, which is awesome.
yeah.
That's a great
It is a
price.
price,
And then,
It's
the
the
bulk rate
postage.
on the mailing is 54 cents. So you do get bulk rate postage as well. So you're looking total cost, $4,200 with their processing fee. And I think, you know, based off of, you know, what Kristen said and just what I've seen, you know, it's hard to say what we'll get in as far as advertising revenue. But, I'd say, I think each of the runs that we've done has been between 1,700 and 2,000
Yeah.
on there, so a little less than half. How long, what are you thinking as far as like, how long it would take you to put together the newsletter, because you're ultimately the one that.
I mean, I have a skeleton already done. You know, I have a page, and this one I think would be important too because we have a lot of we have new trustees, we're gonna have new employees, like the people of contact that people need to a zoning inspector or a maintenance, you know, or you know, the service director and that kind of things. I had a whole page with just them and their pictures and like a little whatever biography you want to put in there, who you are, welcome, blah, 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 contact information, things like that. But I mean, I already have it started.
Okay.
Could you add the snow plow, so the resident one in there as well then? So
Yeah.
the residents get some more information about that and know how to contact
And-
us?
And somebody had asked me, and that's always been, we've had that the last couple
It's
years
been there,
because
yeah.
I had to take the applications. Yeah, I had to take the applications,
I think it's
for
just
that.
gone for the wayside. I don't believe it's ever been removed.
I think just maybe with
Probably like
everything with the
information.
election and everything that was happening, like there was just so much, it kind of just got in.
But if you can add that to the newsletter then and make that
Oh, yeah.
a feature so that residents
Yeah, that
can
was-
see how
yeah, that was
proud
in
you are
there.
about that service.
It was in there for last winter, I believe. There
Okay.
was an article on, I mean, I didn't do it in the spring one, obviously.
You know it's not gonna snow next year though.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I didn't do it for the spring one, but like for the,
Yeah,
yeah.
but just to have that handy, then I think that will add that reassurance to residents that the program hasn't gone away and they can access it if they want to.
Yeah, and a lot of the times too is like, cause I did get a call a couple months ago, but they're like, well, we make too much. I'm like, well, that's, you know, there are restrictions. It is for, you know, you have to make a certain amount and you have to, you know, be a certain age. It's just not free snow plowing, which I think a lot of people think it is. It's for emergency
Right.
purposes
Yeah, it's
only.
not just like a regular routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was people calling like, my pizza man can't get in my driveway, and it's like, well, that's not.
Go
Sorry.
shovel.
Sorry. So there is. It's just not. Yeah, it's not commercial. It's not a free commercial snowplow program, which I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what it is.
There's just an eligibility for it, isn't
Yeah,
there?
there's eligibility markers.
When we've done these in the past, I see on the quote here, you had them quote for like an extra 20, you know.
That was
like
for in the office, because people would come in and ask for them, like say I didn't get one.
Was that, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like, is that sufficient? Should we,
If we're mailing them out, yes, that's sufficient.
okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess,
I'd like to continue it. I think it's a good thing for the residents.
would you like to make a motion to approve the newsletter? We're gonna probably need, we would need to approve a budget of 4,500 to allot for,
Yeah, that's what's in the past. It was approved in full, and
Right.
then
And
we
then
just
offset.
it offset, you know, however much we brought in ads.
okay.
Okay.
Would you like
I'll
to-
make a motion then to approve 4,500 then for the newsletter.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Except for one or two.
That's
We're just for the spring newsletter.
for the spring newsletter.
And I do apologize, I do need to ask for, just a really quick recess, if we could take, 5 minutes. All right, it is 7:22, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute recess. All right. It's 7:27, we will reconvene, and I apologize, thank you, everyone. All right, so we've got the newsletter, we're good there?
Yep.
All right, so, oh, did you pause it?
No, did you turn the other one back
I didn't pause either one of them.
Okay.
You didn't pause either
on?
one?
Nope, I didn't touch it.
We should be good. Alright, the next item on the agenda is the Char Heating Cooling Annual Maintenance Agreement. This is just the annual service agreement for, the heating and cooling system. It's $830 for the year. I'll make the motion to approve the annual maintenance agreement with Char for $830.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Trustee Beller, I think you had some, service department repairs and maintenance items.
Question. On the heating and cooling annual maintenance agreement,
Yeah.
did you guys, go out and get competitive quotes on that?
We did not this year, no.
Okay. And is a multi-year agreement cheaper?
We can definitely ask about it.
Usually you do like 3-year agreements are generally cheaper versus annual.
We can definitely put it on the list for next year.
Just saying.
Yeah, thank you.
So the service department have some maintenance that needs on the vehicle. For the service truck, the 350, we have a hubcap that needs replacing. They're looking for approval on that, which is $92.40. And for the 550 truck, it's the mirror that needs replacing on that. That is $1,125. They're also, because of all the plowing we've had to do in the last few weeks, the blades, the cutting blades on there need to be replaced. We have some damage done to them and the general wear and tear. So the service department have asked us for up to the value of $12,000 for the cutting edge blades so that they can get all of the plows up to speed again on that. I think I sent them to you.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance because that came in a little bit late this afternoon, but, I know we had originally talked about either using, Chuck's or, Mill Supply. The last quote that we have was, for 3 cutting edges for $1,300. So I'm trying to understand,
So
like, how we get to 12,000.
Yeah, how we reach 12,000. So each of the trucks that have the snow plows on have got, they've got side edging to them,
Mhm.
the side blades. They have got to the end of their lifespan. There's not enough I think steel on the bottom of that for them. So each of them have to be replaced. So rather than they were looking at is do we get a bulk order and get the discount that way, or do we fund them individually and it costs us more? So they were looking at how can they do it the most cost effective way by buying them in bulk. If they bought more than one for each vehicle which needs to be replaced. So that's why they were looking at how do we do it. One of the things that Matt said is it's not likely to be the 12,000. It's just to give them this overall all of it. They have a whole list of them all out. I didn't print it though. There was a lot for the different vehicles, different widths and different things.
We've got the money appropriated, right?
Yeah, what I said to them is as well is if you can get it way under the budget, you know, that would be ideal, so that we can use that money for other things in the long run. But with the amount of snow that we've had recently,
Are they getting them from Mill Supply though, or?
I believe so, yeah, from the same, yeah. I don't think they're changing the suppliers.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, like, I think we had been getting them from Chuck's.
Yeah, so I think they're sticking to whoever we had originally. I don't think they're changing that.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, they can purchase the maintenance that they need based on the POs and everything we had talked about this, like, at the organizational meeting, when we talked about, like, kind of, you know, Chief had made the question, or asked the question, you know, like, does he need every last thing approved in advance? And that's the whole process that we put in place with, you know, appropriating the money, setting up to the accounts. This is something that we've already kind of done that approval process. If they need, you know, if they need to purchase, you know, regular day-to-day items, they,
Yeah.
you know,
I think
as
it's
long as
because
it's
it's
in
Matt's
budget.
new, you
No,
know, I think Matt,
I
you know,
agree
he said it to
completely.
me and he's like, I just wanna make sure everyone knows where we're at as a board and what they're asking.
Sherry, not to put you on the spot, but I mean, do you disagree with the process? Or do we need,
I already looked into, I mean, he just sent, like, he didn't send any invoice or quote, he
Right.
said up to 12,000, didn't say by who, but, I mean, we have enough appropriated to cover it if it's, you know, in the temporary appropriations, I mean, if he needs them. And I don't know, that's up to you guys.
yeah, I'm fine with, you know, I don't think we need to,
Limit an amount, you mean?
well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess,
Well, it's a hefty price to not have it approved,
Yeah.
to just say they went out and spent 12 grand.
well, that's what I'm
But
saying, I'm
that's
not
what-
saying we
yeah.
I would like a little bit, if we are going to like, I guess where I'm at is, they can replace cutting edges if they need to, based on the standing appropriations that we've made. If they wanna buy, if we're looking at that big of a purchase, I would like something more than just, hey, we're gonna buy a bunch of these, and it might be the right thing, but, you know,
I thought they
there's-
sent it to you, that was why, cause I
well,
told them to forward it to you.
all it was an email that says we'd like to buy $12,000 worth of cutting
Okay.
edges.
No, that's fine.
And-
I know he had the original list and he had it cause I was reading it and I did say make sure you forward that on and
Yeah, cause,
he probably just forgot.
right, and, yeah, cause I mean, it's like, you know,
It's one
tonight's meeting,
sentence, yeah.
we need cutting edges for plows, I would like approval to spend up to 12,000 to purchase the
Yeah.
cutting edges, and I don't wanna impede that, but again, if we're making that large of a purchase, we should probably have a quote or something with,
Yeah,
like,
he has all of
outlining
that.
exact.
He does
I
have it
know,
all, he
but
just didn't give it to us
we
in
need
time.
it.
I did say to him then maybe on the next meeting then, he can then,
Yeah,
then
I think that's
list it out to
probably the
us.
way to go.
Yeah, that's fine. Do that then.
Are you doing the Shar heating and cooling, is that coming out of, is that going 50/50 or what size? Having it in the street, or where you do all out of the street? Is it for both buildings?
Yeah,
So
it is for, yeah, it's just for the town hall and admin building. We could, I don't know, well, road and bridge split didn't go the way that we'll get to that too, but.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, I don't know, we can do it either way, we've done it, split it in the past, so, that's
Well,
fine.
this year we might just have,
You're worried about what?
I said this year we'll just do it that way, so
Okay.
nothing went. That's fine.
Alright, did you have anything else, will we do the repairs on the truck, those are all
Just general maintenance.
general maintenance,
Yeah.
and we have that money appropriated as well, so I would say, you know, obviously, if we wanna approve it formally, we can, but, they're fine to
Otherwise,
get
they're
those
gonna do
mirrors.
it all the time, yeah.
Well, the mirrors, we had, they're mostly cosmetic, I mean, they're still functional, but at the same time, you know, it's gonna,
The one with the mirror, because
Yeah.
of the way it's dropped slightly, it could pull the electrics
Right,
out, which could stop the
right.
functionality there.
right, it's gonna be a problem eventually,
Yeah,
so.
so,
But yeah, we've got the money appropriated, allocated, there's a blanket open, so he should just get those
Yeah.
done and submit them, and we'll approve them
Yeah.
in the payroll. like we do. Okay.
sounds Matt.
The next item we have is the annual highway mileage certification from the county. I have, resolution 2026-20, township mileage certification in the form that needs to be signed from the county. Mileage for 2026 is 27.750 miles. I would make the motion to approve resolution 2026-20, sign the form for the county and get that back to them.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Corolla, yes. And then the last item that I have under new business is a letter of support from the Medina County Parks District. Nate Epping, the director of Medina County Parks, had reached out about a project that I'm sure you've all seen, doing over by the Historical Society there and the old amusement park area. And he's just asking for the Board of Trustees to lend their support in soliciting money from the state. So, Carrie, you got a chance to
Yep.
review that letter? Any questions, concerns?
No.
All right, well then I would make a motion to approve my signing that and sending it back to the Park District for them to be able to use in their solicitation package to receive state funding for that measure.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we will get a copy of that posted as well for everybody, so that you can view that online. Next item is some hiring that we need to do. This past Saturday, we held a special meeting to do interviews for both our service department opening. We had Matt Lawton, our new service director, and Ben Miller both sit in on those interviews as well. And then we also interviewed 3 candidates for our zoning inspector opening. Did you want to do just a short executive session, or are you
Yeah.
ready? Okay. So then I would make a motion to enter executive session for under 121.22 G1, hiring and compensation. It'll be myself, trustee Villar, and fiscal officer Ward. It's 19, well, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Yes.
Roll yes, and it's 19:38, so 7:30.
Do I have that?
No, I'm actually okay now. It's because I told them.
Executive session?
Pretty decent money doing it. Like I said, like, he was out here for a little while. Yeah, he was not too long ago. He was Wingo, bro. Like during like one of the cold snaps, you know. And he was out here at the transfer station. You know, they're driving, and then he's gonna go all the way back to Lyria or something. And so he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm freezing. I'm waiting to go to this transfer station. He's like, I'll finally dump it. And he's like, then I gotta get on the highway and come back. He's like,
Alright, it is 7:48, we are out of executive session, no decisions were made.
I I'd like to make a motion to hire Jason Gabriel, and offer, well not hire him, but offer him the position at $24 an hour. He'd be a full-time service personnel.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then, again, like I mentioned, we interviewed 3 very good candidates for our zoning inspector position on Saturday morning. But one, I think, kind of interviewed a little bit better and brings a lot more experience to the position. So I would make the motion that we hire Tom Wilson as our zoning inspector. We will be doing I would like to do a monthly stipend, $1,800 a month. We offer him the position, allow him to start immediately, prorate it based on if he accepts and when, and go from there.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ron?
What is the range? What is the average range for a zoning inspector anyway, salary-wise? What do most townships pay?
It's all over the place. I think a lot of it depends on, every township is very different. Even in our, you have townships like Medina and Montville,
Right.
full-time zoning inspector, a zoning secretary that's close to, if not full-time.
Wow.
You know, same thing, I think, well, Tom had been the zoning inspector in Hinckley for about 8 years.
Okay.
And they went full-time, and he did not want to be full-time.
Okay.
So I guess to answer your question is, the pay ranges are kind of all over the place because the demands are all over the place. We aren't at a point where we need somebody in the building 40 hours a week, or anywhere close to that, on average. And then, you know, you have some other townships that have even less. A lot of it, we don't have the commercial demand that keeps a lot of the zoning inspectors busy.
Okay.
So we have a lot of boom and bust. So I don't know if that answers your question, but hopefully.
Yeah, just get a feel for it. It's like, $1,800 a month. They said this guy's not full-time.
No, we're figuring where we came up with that number, or you know, we discussed was the fact that it's probably around 15 to 20 hours a week on average,
Okay.
and then roughly in that like $22 to $25 an hour range. You know, just
Yeah.
to kind of get to that number.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, you know, that's something that if it winds up becoming a significantly larger amount of work, you know, there'll be a conversation that's had around that. But we've done that in the past with the zoning inspector position where it's been kind of a stipend. We also want to take some of the administrative responsibilities off that position so that they can focus solely on zoning and not kind of be torn
Yeah.
in both places. So I think one of the things that we'll probably be discussing over the next couple of weeks is kind of how we want to address, you know, adding in some more administrative support that used to be kind of hybrid
Okay.
on those.
But we're not lowballing somebody and then have to worry about turnover all the time.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He is your zoning inspector, not in interim.
This is not interim, this is a permanent replacement and hopefully able to start tomorrow or Thursday. So unless you have anything else, I will open the floor to public comment. Oh, hold on, real quick. Kristen?
Karen and I had something, could we get another plowed? Because since we moved to Tuesdays and are you guys steamed?
Also on Tuesdays.
Also on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we have money appropriated for that. so
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I didn't know if it
we-
needed to
we
be a
don't-
motion or if that would be
No,
something we
we'll-
could
we'll
just get.
We'll work on that and then we'll have it for approval at the,
It's-
I mean, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's in the page.
All right, public comment.
I'll introduce myself first. My name is Trevor Klein. I think I left a voicemail for you, Justin, but haven't met you in person, so nice to meet you. So what brings me out tonight was the zoning inspector positions, just a couple follow-up questions to that.
Sure.
Great news
Wait.
that we made a selection.
Okay,
Sometimes it's easier if you want to come up to the podium, but if
Oh,
not, you're fine there. It's
Okay.
totally up to you.
I'm fine here.
Okay.
Has he formally accepted the position, or has it not been extended to him yet?
We have to make the decision to offer him the job
Okay.
before we can have that conversation, so, I will be calling him first thing tomorrow morning and offering him. Based on the discussions that we had at the interview, I don't foresee there being any issue with him accepting the position.
Okay, that's great news. I have a project that
Yeah.
I'm looking to kick off, hopeful to be a future resident of the township. But I need to get a
Yeah.
zoning permit or something, so
And I thank you for your patience with the process. I know it's not easy, but
Yeah. I
unfortunately,
understand.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else?
I'll go last.
You'll go last, okay?
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Oh, I have quite a bit.
Okay.
Mine doesn't match with any of yours. So my name is Carol Scheinman, and I'm here due to damage that when Rick Evans worked, he ripped a bush out of the graveyard that my godmother had planted for my brother. It was a 40-year-old bush. Anyhow, the base collapsed. I offered to pay for it, but people are telling me that due to the circumstances, that it's your obligation to help. Now, if Rick Evans is not here, who takes his place?
Matt Lawton was hired to be the service director.
Now, does he live in Lafayette and Dinah around here?
He lives just outside of Medina County, down in Ashland area. Well, not Ashland area, but like,
Yeah, Salem.
just, yeah.
Also, I'd like to thank Kelly and Mark Albright for donating their gravel that we could get back to the, grave site. So, that's number one. Now for Medina City Police Department, shame on them. They didn't show up first on December 13th at Dollar General. Instead, your department was last on scene. The sheriff's office, Grice, was with Lafayette Fire Department on scene for CPR. Hats off to them. One more thing. The man's name was Eugene Swab. He has a family. Nobody knew where he was. Medina City was supposed to find out where the next of kin was. You wanna talk 2 weeks, you wanna talk 4 weeks. They left him in the cooler in the morgue. We were more sufficient as Lafayette when we had our own sheriff's department and we had our own department. Why are we wasting money on Medina City Police when no response and when they stand there and don't render aid? It doesn't help us as residents. We're already freaked out about this Brian thing that's a big old cloud over the world. And it's not fair. I am 60 years old. I've lived here all my life. Never once would I have ever thought Lafayette would go there. Except it was their police department. Once again, Medina City Police Department. I'm sorry, Keystone. You might save some money there. Now for Brian. That's our dark spot. We need to focus as citizens to get our safety back. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, looking at my neighbor. And everybody has their own little thing, which is great. Hands off to them. It's a huge subject, and it has been for quite a few years. And I really, honestly, am hurt and disgusted with our police department right now. Not you guys, but them. Watching the job. So now, as a 60-year-old, I'm looking Was it him? Well, no, could be you. And there's a 60-year-old woman that has to walk to Dollar General front just from her car. I am constantly looking over my shoulder on this. This needs to stop. This really needs to stop. Somebody needs to step up. We all have our own little opinions. It doesn't matter, you can't prove it. It wasn't your fault. It was obviously Medina City and the sheriff's fault. But in the meantime, they put the dark cloud over our community, which shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have to look over my shoulder and wonder what neighbor did what. I deserve peace, just like everybody else. We need a closure to this, and I know you guys are getting blasted, but as a community, I really feel it's a dark cloud, and I think it's really bad that Medina City, we pay these people to take care of us. But what did the Medina City man do? When Eugene collapsed, he was last on scene. I have the report right here. This is Medina's, and I don't care about the rest of this. 1, 2. That's it. Somebody dies in their community, we might get a paragraph or 2. So we need to reconsider hiring and keeping Medina City Police Department in this township when they can't help. And it stinks to watch them come help. But you know what? It's always the sheriff that showed up first. It's always the squad shows up first. And I, for one, do not want taxpayer money going to Medina City. We are a small community. I don't want it stripped from us by any means. And I'm not gonna let that happen. So if I have to come to every meeting to boycott something, so be it. But I am not gonna sit here and tolerate things when you're so scared. And as a single woman, I have a husband, and that's it. So somebody really needs to reconsider these contracts, you know, Medina blew it. That's why I moved from Medina. I lived here all my life, but I lived in Medina City for the schools for a while. I've had enough. I don't want to look over my shoulder at all, and shouldn't have to at my age. As a community, we need to come together and get this done, because obviously your police departments aren't doing it. But I bet you as a community, if we came together, we would have hope. We won't have to glance over our shoulders. And if we do this, and I think all the positions, such as Rick, why he resigned, God only knows, and I really don't care. What our community needs is new. That's you guys. You're our hope. But damn it, I could be a voice. I deserve that after 60 years. Enough. Enough. It just blows my mind that Brian has a daughter, and here she doesn't have a daddy to walk her down the aisle. Think about that. Think about it was your daughter, and not something happened to you. You know, that's a little girl's dream. And with that, I'm going with that. I am not gonna sit here and tolerate a lot of people coming in. Why are you hiring people that don't belong in our community to begin with? But Medina City, do not, and I am begging you, do not renew the contract with them. I think it's better to have our own police department like it used to be. And that's that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess, first of all, my first question is, does Steve not being here anywhere negatively affect us?
I guess if there's a major point of business that trustee Villar and I can't agree on, I guess maybe that would be a situation.
So, but everything's been going,
Steve has, been in communication.
mhm,
He's done his training, as he's mentioned, or, I mean,
yeah.
you know, so he's been active. I don't, we'll see when he gets back, you know.
But you can't see anything that it's detrimental to us now, do you?
I think the thing that I think the thing that he highlighted in his email that, I would hope people would take into consideration is, this isn't a full-time job for any of us. So we all have responsibilities, whether it's work, family, travel, you know, things that are planned and are committed to. And, you know, we could have decided, you know, meet once a month. And we wouldn't even be having our second meeting yet. That's been done in the past. So, you know, in picking a schedule where we're meeting more consistently to hopefully make everything more efficient, I have a feeling we'll all miss at some point. But, you know, doing the business of the township is what comes first, I think, is what we all agreed to when we set these schedules, is that, you know, as a team, we administer the business of the township, and putting that on hold because one of us has you know, traveling here and there, or not scheduling meetings because somebody's out of town, wasn't the way we wanted to do things. You know, it was, hey, you know, there might be a meeting where, you know, two of us have to carry the weight while the other ones take care of whatever else it is, so. I guess maybe a long-winded answer, but
Okay.
no, I don't believe it's, you know,
I know changing
hindering us
the
at all.
schedule was a big, for everybody, you know, especially at the last minute, so. But it looks to me as if everything's going smoothly. You're doing a good job of faking it till you
Thank
make
you.
it. Okay, my second question is, I think Sherry, you said that you are now caught up with 2025. That is such good news. They took a long time, thank you very much.
It's about 10 years off my list.
Well, your hair color still looks good.
It looks like color.
And,
But thank you.
so where are we on, moving our money to reap more interest on it?
Well, we've talked about it, Sherry and I, a couple of times. As it stands right now, Westfield is still relatively on par with what we're getting at, what we could get, at Star Ohio. So I don't know that there's a major reason right now to make a move. We've talked about maybe streamlining the process so that we're not banking at multiple places, but one of the things that we do have to do at some point this year is we have to rebid our deposits. Every 5 years, we have to put our deposits out to bid. It's a statutory requirement, so we'll be going through that process anyway this year. So, you know, we can obviously monitor it. The idea is to not make things more difficult than they need to be when it comes to like paying bills and writing checks. And then also, as long as we're making sure that we're getting, you know, competitive interest, like, it's close enough that it probably doesn't make sense to make an immediate move, but it is definitely on our radar to keep an eye on.
Okay. But you're moving, you made a lot of the people in the township voted for change for fiscal reasons, so I see adding more meetings, being more proactive on the warrants, and that thing is, we're headed in the right direction, but there's still a few things that kind of still stick.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Do you by chance happen to know what the interest rates are like at Huntington compared to Westfield and Star, Ohio?
Star, Ohio is just over, well, it's teetering right around 4%. Westfield's at 3.92, I
And
believe.
what's Huntington?
Huntington was a little over 2%.
2%.
Which is why we keep the bulk of our savings at Star, Ohio. Anything else?
Just,
Well, just want to be sure.
No, the only other thing that I had maybe to ask you was, are we done getting caught up with paying for contracts that we we're paying double on?
We're still going through the process of cleaning that up, yeah?
Okay, so it's still ongoing, we're still paying double for some?
Sure, there's plenty of things that need to still be cleaned up.
Okay, just wondering.
I just want to respond to her about Medina Police. Back when they decided, the township trustees decided to contract with Medina Police and move away from the sheriff's department, I was dead set against it. But now that the Medina Police have been out here, I don't know how long, what, 6 years, 5 years or whatever, I think they're doing an excellent job. You call them, they're right there. I tell you, it's a complete turnaround from when they first come in, that I was dead set. And I sat in a trustee meeting with Mike here and Linda and Brian. And I voiced my opinion on that, or Brian wasn't there at that time. But yes, I have to disagree with you on Medina Police. They're doing a darn good job. I don't know where else you would go to get the manpower when it's needed in the county. I've seen Medina police cars, 6, 7 of them, go to one scene because they're needed there. I don't think you'll get that with another department. So I have to disagree with you and say Medina police is probably the best thing that happened to the township. And if you've been around here a long time, you don't ever want to go back to your own department. This township should be buried in lawsuits from what was going on when they had their own department.
Well, I have yet to see Medina move, so that's where I stand.
They do a good job.
So you're good.
But we do not want to go back to our own department because I remember what went on when we had our own.
Yeah.
If you could just state your name for the record, please.
Renee Drake, living on 7187 Lake Road. I can tell you, I work from in my home, and I see the cops, the officers at least six to 7 times a day going past my house. Now, I do live on a busy road, but they are there. They sit at the bank often. The sheriffs, we cannot get them to sit to watch the traffic because they only have 3 sheriffs that can come to here and patrol. And if you look at the police, is it a blog or whatever, they're around us all the time, So maybe they're not over where you are, and that's unfortunate, but they are around. I just had to call the ambulance not too long ago, and boom, they were there. I mean, they didn't come in or anything, but they were there. I saw the car, so
Well,
I hope that brings you a little comfort because they are around a lot. So,
They're around so much they bring our property back.
When I lost my husband, Medina City Police were the first on the scene, and they administered CPR way before the emergency squad got there or anybody else. So I think when something bad like that happens, you really look for somebody to blame. But the fact is, we can't control everything. There's just some things written that it's just the way it is.
Well, I can honestly say what you're talking about with Fred, because I've known Fred for 35 years. And from what I understand is when he passed away at Dollar General, when they transported him, the reason he was in the morgue so long was because somehow or another they lost his identification. Nobody knew who he was, and that is why he was in the morgue as long as he was.
Totally understand what everybody else is saying. I'm out farther than everybody, so what I see are sheriffs going by my house, which does bring comfort, absolutely. Medina City, yes, absolutely, you know, I'm not saying they are the bad police at all. However, this is the way that I see it, because I don't see them come by my house. And I don't care, but, it's comforting to see the sheriff go by my house, so where everybody else is living, I think the police department is more involved in where they go.
I know for the recent incident with the missing child, having worked for 2 different police departments, to find a child that quickly, to mobilize that many people, that's hard to do, and they did a fantastic job. And there are some times, like I said, I work for 2 police departments, there are some times where things don't get handled the way people appreciate, and that's a bad thing that happens, and it is, but it does happen occasionally. It's something that you hope to avoid, but occasionally it does happen. But I think that they do a really good job as a whole.
That day was incredible, because where I live, it's only right down the road. There were unmarked cars everywhere. Every 2 seconds I look out that window, here come an unmarked car coming from somewhere, an unmarked SUV. And they were swarming that place like bees on a hive. There were people walking everywhere with the security, with the orange vests on, walking all over my neighborhood. It was unbelievable, the amount of people.
Definitely, I totally agree. Thank God that everything ended like it did with that, but.
Right.
You know, I think I'm out farther than you guys are, and I don't see what they're doing, because they're really not out there far. And that's on Lance, and then we go to Karsten, you know, and it's like, I see the sheriffs, but no, you know, not comfortable at all. Because I never see them.
And that's what that's what this, you know, opening the floor to the public is for you to share your experiences. So I know that opinions may be different, but I don't want to discourage you from that.
Oh, no.
You need to, like, this is good, I guess is what I'm trying to say, so.
See, what I don't see, they're seeing. So
Right.
that's awesome for me to hear her explain it for her side.
Mhm.
Her perspective and how everything is.
If you need someone to walk to Dollar General with you, just call me.
No,
I'll walk with you.
I have a car,
I have a new
thanks.
suit, I can walk.
No, I have a car, thank you. But
Any
I
other
think that's,
comments? Anybody else? Alright, then we'll go ahead and move on. Trustee Ballard, did you have anything that you wanted to add at the end of the meeting? I know we've kind of added a chance for, I like the question and answer and stuff like that, but maybe a session at the end if there's anything that you want to address from what's been said or from the meeting tonight.
I think on the police department side, if you were to talk to Lieutenant Markham and find out where they patrol, we got the opportunity when we came on the board here to go down to them and talk to Chief Kenny as well. And we got to see where they put the vehicles, how often they cover our township and what roads they're on. They are out and about, and we do have a number of vehicles here. We have assigned someone who covers the south side, someone who covers the north and east and west. It's just probably that they're out doing speed checks maybe and not catching some areas, but they do cover our township as a whole, and we butt onto a number of other townships as well. But they are there. But I really appreciate your concern though as to how you feel where you are exactly though, because you do have the Sheriff's Department coming
Right,
across you
right.
constantly. So in some respects, you're really probably more high profile with more law enforcement going by you than most people are because of it. But we appreciate your comment there and your concerns for the safety.
Well, this is my first time here, and I'm sure I upset a lot of people, and that's not my intent at all.
No, that's not true.
No,
No.
That's
no,
not
and
true.
it's good for us to know what the
Look.
concerns are from the residents of the board. Are we moving on to trustee comments or not?
Yeah, just whatever you.
No, so I would like to just, in our township in the past week and a half, 2 weeks, we have lost some residents here. And one of the things I wanted to just say is our prayers and thoughts are with the family members that are going through this loss at this time. It's a very difficult time for them. When I think of the township, I think it's felt by many people. So I just wanted to say, you know, that you're in our prayers.
The only thing I would like to add, because we've had a good discussion, and I think it's important to talk about, but I think the thing that's the most important about the way that the policing is set up in Lafayette Township is it really is a representation of what the residents have decided. And the reason that I say that is because while the Board of Trustees sits up here, whether it's us, whether it's boards that have come before us, whether it's the boards that come after us, at the end of the day, we can only represent the people and manage the interests of the voters that decide. And the reason that I say, I really fixate on that decide word is, you know, you brought up having had, you know, our own police department, and I remember those days. I grew up out here, and there are people that have strong feelings on both sides. But regardless of how you feel, the one thing that is a fact is that the residents of Lafayette Township did not want to fund that anymore, regardless of anything else. And to put it in comparison, you know, what does get voted on is this policing contract and renewal. The last renewal was for just under right around $400,000. There is no way that we could even come close to recreating a Lafayette Township Police Department for anywhere close to that dollar amount. So it is important to have these dialogues and to have these discussions and for people to advocate for what they believe, because at the end of the day, you know, it won't be this board that decides. I mean, I guess ultimately we could decide to take the vote away from the people. We could. You know, we could just say, hey, we're not doing it. I don't know, I don't like speaking for anybody else, but I can't see any elected official saying, we're just gonna decide for the people. So what'll happen is the contract is up at the end of next year, and it'll be the same, I would imagine it'll be the same process that it was the last time around. The board then, at the last renewal, went to realistically the only two viable options that we have for outside policing services, which was the city of Medina and the sheriff's department. The decision then was to ask for, you know, was to create a level budget to say, hey, look, we are willing to put a levy on the ballot for this dollar amount. What level of service could we receive for that? You know, the city of Medina made one commitment, the sheriff's department made another commitment. When the board at that time, and this was even before I was on the board, so this predates everybody that's here now, but when those two kind of proposals were looked at, you know, the sheriff's department wasn't able to offer the level of coverage. Now, to your point, is the city living up to it? That part of it is on us, and by coming to the meetings and giving us that feedback, we can then work with the city of Medina to identify if there's gaps in coverage, places where they aren't servicing the community properly, things that need to be addressed. In my experience, they've always been very responsive to those. But again, it comes back to when it's that time, it'll be the people of Lafayette that decide what type of policing services we have here. It won't be the three of us up here. So that's all I would have on that. And with that, unless you guys have anything else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is 8:23. Meeting is adjourned.
Sherry said you have this. Sherry, was it? This one? Very top part.
Each one has an
I have a lot to clear out.
But he got to tell you, yeah.
LC.
And that's just the one.
I see him farm, you know, 42 or, no,